Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us as always, alongside Asukwa James this morning. And
Good morning and good morning, Nigerians.
indeed. So we're going to be continuing an aspect of what we were talking about yesterday, politics in Edo State, the primaries, the results, and we spoke with the APC, the winner of the APC primaries, Pastor Osage Iyamo, AP. And talking of which, Pastor Iyamo, just in case you're watching, yeah, I do owe you an apology. Yesterday I was going on and on about it not being campaign season yet. We came off air, and then I was advised that, what are you talking about? Of course it's campaign season. So you were right, sir. I was wrong, and my apologies for that. It's just that, well, in the nature of television, we take you for 1 minute saying that kind of stuff, and we're going to have to find the other guy or whoever and find him and get him to also say 1 minute back. But you were right. I was wrong yesterday. My apologies. So we'll be going over to Edo State. Our man, Ayo Ozubako, is still in Edo State. He's not coming away yet because we still have the PDP one to do. Am I hearing that the PDP has sort of postponed?
No, it's tomorrow. They postponed from 19th to 23rd
So
to
we
25th. So it's just because they need to, put their house in order.
Okay.
But even at that, they still have court cases to.
Indeed, and
that's the major issue.
we'll get into it in the second half of the program when we come to look at the politics of it. But I don't think there's very much politics involved in the rains and the floods. That's straightforward, upfront, government taking care of us, and quite frankly, are also looking out for ourselves. And so in Lagos, the rains they were particularly impactful. I guess it's because of the nature of Lagos and drains and all of that. And to that extent, we have the essay to the Lagos State Governor on drainage and water resources. And he'll be talking to us about how much of a challenge it was. Lagos has always taken this whole matter seriously, but it also has always been a challenge in Lagos State. The rains come, yeah, the authorities will warn us about the rains coming, giving us tips and all of that, but invariably when it does come, it does wreak havoc. So what are we doing? How better is the fight getting, or how much more in control are we getting? We'll be looking at that. In fact, the Commissioner for the Environment, Tunji Bello, he was speaking on that yesterday. We'll find that clip for you somewhere. But in the meantime, let's say good morning to our friend Joe Ibokwe. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ario.
Great to have you. I'm alongside Asukwa James here.
Asukwa.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, then.
So nice meeting you again this morning.
Yeah. So, Joe, the question is, well, you've been there for a long time. You've been seeing how the whole fight has been going against nature, so to speak. I don't know that you can fight nature, but you know what I mean. How much more challenging has it been in the rains of 2020, especially within the last week? Has it been an easier job, the same job, more difficult job?
Okay, yeah, first of all, let me just sympathize with those who probably had their areas, flooded. And we are told that somebody was carried away, a young girl of 17 years was carried away by a flood. Nekana, very near Asufurere. We sympathize with everybody that witnessed flooding, wherever that person lives in Lagos. We are not mindful of the fact that Lagos is a coastal city, just like Florida, just like you have in New Orleans, just like you have in other places that are under sea level. There are some areas in Lagos that are under sea level, and then you cannot rule out the issues of flooding. We told them. And don't forget that earlier this year, in March, 17 March precisely, we predicted that we are going to have up to 240 to 270 days of rainfall. And we know that we know what it means. We said in Ikeja, we expected to have 1,526 millimeter of rainfall. In Badagry, 1,750, the highest. And Island, 1,714. And Kurudu, 1,690. And Epo, 1,730. And we predicted that we're going to have this, like I said, 240 to 270 days of rainfall. and we started walking. We started walking, dredging the canals. You know, as I speak to you now, we are working on 222 secondary channels. I mean, secondary, you have the tertiary, the one in front of your house. The secondary is the drains that the one in front of your house can be charged into before it goes into the major canals. So we call it secondary canals. We are working on 222 of them. We have completed 168, and we're still working on 54. As I speak to you now, we're working on 46 major canals, the ones that will discharge into the lagoon. We have completed 20, and I think 16, I think 18 is still ongoing. What is it we have? 15 are still ongoing. 16 or so still ongoing.
Well, Joe, it sounds like a lot of industry is afoot. A lot of work is going on. But
yes,
that is on the one hand. The other thing is that in terms of the impact, it's like when we have heavy rains, everybody sort of holds their breath, knowing that, oh, this is going to be bad. Oh, this is not going to be good. I mean, even if they are on dry land themselves, people have come to become used to it. And indeed, right on cue, the news pictures follow, the television pictures follow of what is looking like in disaster areas. The problem is that we've not been successful in being able to channel all those things as effectively as we would want to. Is that the big problem?
We're still working on right now, working on 44 of it. That is putting concrete channels. It makes it easy for
Joe, sorry, Joe. 1 second, Joe, you got to help us out here. You got to look. Can you look towards your device so it looks like you're looking at me? Aha. And could you take your hands down, please?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Now I think we got something resembling eye contact. Don't watch yourself on television, please. Just look at your device. Thank you very much, sir. Carry on.
Okay. What I'm saying is that we're working on concrete channels now, about 44 of them. Almost all of them, people are working on it now. Two officially have been mobilized, 2 contractors have been mobilized to site, and I'm sure that as I speak to you now, about 42 are likely to move to site this weekend. So that's where we are. We've done a lot of work, the kind of thing we have not seen in the past 4 years, including all these channels, But you cannot overrule the fact that some areas in Lagos, especially those who are living in low-lying areas, and they know those very close to the canals, they know that they are living in the low-lying areas and you're bound to have flooding. On other areas, you can have flood on the street after the rains, and 1-2 hours they will disappear. Just like what you saw the other day.
Yes.
The flood will come, but if you do 30, 40, whatever, it will not disappear.
Yeah.
Telling you that the frames, that the drains on the channels are free. It's just that the volume, they can't take the volume on that particular point in time when it's heavily.
But the problem is they drain to somewhere, and water will always find its own level.
Well, after 1 or 2 hours, it will just go.
Okay, let's take the commissioner. Let's take Tunji Bello, the Environment Commissioner in Lagos State. He was speaking to the press yesterday. We'll come back to you after hearing from Tunji Bello.
We will experience that more. We'll see experience. In fact, in July, we're still going to have a lot of heavy rain in July, so people should be prepared. And then in September, all residents who live within low-lying areas must always vacate their houses when rain starts. This is because no one can determine the volume of intensity of rainfall when it starts. What should be almost in the minds of our people is that if they wait until the rainfall ceases or subsides, they may be trapped and unable to move or may not even be alive to tell the story.
Okay, so a short one there, but quite impactful, because Tunji Bello was saying that look, no two ways about it. People that are living in vulnerable areas, and I think the low-lying areas you were talking about, just have to begin to think of how to evacuate even before an emergency is called. You know, I was saying that in Lagos, depending on where you are, but you just sort of hold your breath once the rains come. Now, there is Honorable Tunji Bello saying, indeed, that is the case. You've got to think of moving out if the rains are serious enough. Joe?
I'm here.
Yeah. You know, I was just, you heard the commissioner yourself. It was a bit alarming, but...
We're saying the same thing.
Yeah, but he just added that you have to begin to think of relocating.
Exactly.
He added that bit.
Yes, we've been saying that repeatedly. You can't continue to live in a low-lying areas and you will not expect flood. But they can go. They are used to that. We've told them to leave because one day you may not be lucky. You may not be lucky.
But
this is a coastal city. They know you are bound to have rainfall here, and you are bound to have flooding. If after 4 hours, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and you still have flood in your area, know that you are living in the low-lying area. We have been telling them. They get calls every from all parts of Lagos, those who are having flood issues.
Okay.
And for those of them that need drains, we are working on that. That those that need drains and want to put drains, this flood will just go into the drains and then find its way to the lagoon. Okay. And don't forget also that sometimes the level of lagoon will go up. And if it goes up like that, it will not discharge. Water will not discharge until it recedes into the Atlantic Ocean before it start flowing again.
At which point we have Omiyale. At that point we have Omiyale. But one moment, Azuko was going to ask you something.
Yeah. I know that the commissioner has said, okay, if you are staying around the low-lying areas, that you should move. Is the government doing anything, at least in terms of compensation, or maybe there's an IDP camp or resettlement center for them?
Yes, now, don't laugh, Joe. Since it's going to be a periodic certainty.
At least for now.
You went to live in a place that you did not buy. It's a wetland. It's a low-lying area. Nobody sold it to you. You just went there and put makeshift zinc with just wood, and you put up a house. That one is not house now. If you deliberately go and build a house near the channel or near the setback, anything you see, you take. But we are put to you. Don't wait for water to carry away your house.
And of course, the government is not giving any building permits for anywhere considered a low-lying area. Nobody's going to give you that.
There's no permits there.
No building permits there.
Nobody gave you building permits. Nobody. No invoice. You don't expect. You don't go and live very close to the Atlantic Ocean. And if ocean takes you away, you go to blame the government.
Okay. One moment. Sorry, Sukwa. Chukudi has called in. Let's hear it from Chukudi. Good morning, Chukudi.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling. Go ahead. What's your observation or question?
All right. My take is this. I live in a good area. And almost the whole of that group is flooded always.
It's low-lying area.
The water goes down, immediately the air stops, all the water will go. But then, before the air stops, everywhere will be flooded. So my problem is this. You say that they are working on canals. If they break this canal, or could be back into the lagoon. If it is dredged, this problem here will stop. Because what happens is that when sometimes when they release that water at Oya Dam, the whole place gets flooded. During the November, even when there's no more rain, once they release that water at Oya Dam, the whole place gets flooded. Because that canal is not deep enough to take volume of water that is coming. And what happens, the water of the flood, the volume of water will be taken by it and then into the lagoon. So I blame government for not doing what it is supposed to do. This problem has been on for years. They are supposed to have the canal runs from I don't know from where, goes to Ikeja, goes through Ojota, Ogudu, and empties into the canal. If that canal is very definitely we're not having this problem around here. The government is not up to its job.
Okay. I'm sure Joe has one or two things to say about that.
Okay, it's talking about the canal from Ojota, under Ojota Bridge.
That they are
then,
inadequate.
down to-
Yeah, he's
going
saying
to-
they are
going to-
inadequate qualitatively.
Okay. Okay, we'll look at it, but I don't, because it flows. Yesterday I was passing through there and I saw that it's flowing. I told you, if you have the kind of huge rainfall that we had yesterday, before the other day, and yesterday, you're bound to have flood. You're bound to have flash of flood, you know. But what happens thereafter? 2 hours, 3 hours. If you don't see it, you know that it just moved on. The drains are working. Because when you have a high volume, you are bound to have flooding. But if it disappears after 2, 3, 4 hours, then it's natural. Because every line of flood will be forcing its way into the major drains. So you are bound to have some surplus, but within a very short time it will go. You won't call that flooding. Why you call flooding is a place like Ilubiri, Idumagbo, Dolphin Estate, that area, you know, very close to that Ilubiri housing project. You will see that the level of the canal is high and it's not flowing. So what we did is to bring 2 pumping stations there, create an artificial canal, and then we're throwing the water into the lagoon.
Okay.
That's what we're doing. This happens in advanced countries, even in New Orleans, that are on sea level. They use pumps. They build dikes, and then pump for build retainers. Where this flow will go in, thereafter it will be pumped into the ocean or into the sea or into the lagoon. These are the ways to deal with it. You can't, in a coastal city like Lagos, you cannot rule out rainfall. Like I said, we are dredging 222 secondary channels. We are dredging about 46 primary channels. That's the big one. Then the ones in front of your houses is local government and the tenements are supposed to clean up those ones so that you will have an easy flow. Sometimes they are filled up. We have gone on inspection.
Okay, Joe, I don't know if the behavior of citizens in Lagos has improved, because this goes back to Asiwaju's time as governor, to Fashola's time as governor, right up until this time, where you've been complaining about the behavior of citizens not being careful with their drains at all. Has that improved, or is it very much? Are people listening to these appeals to be more responsible?
Given what we see, because we go through all these canals almost every other weekend, we go out on Sundays, on Saturdays to look at things. If what we see is anything to go by, the behavior is still there. That bad behavior is still there. Especially when you talk about PET bottles. Everything goes into the drains.
Yeah.
So if you get to a place like a Pompi Crescent, you will see what we are telling you after rains. You will see what we are telling you.
Okay,
you will
so
see
what is the ministry as a whole, the Ministry for the Environment, what are they doing so that at least to sensitize people, even if it's to give people incentive for them to, you know, properly keep these PET bottles for recycling and all that?
Well, we are doing advocacy and we are working.
But Joe, isn't it that we don't have a recycling culture?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Is it that we don't have a recycling culture? I mean, over in TVC here and many other corporate places, you have separate bins for what you can do.
PET bottles,
you know,
for
PET bottles here,
for paper and all that.
But you can't tell. Have you made any headway with trying to get people to sort their trash in Lagos State?
Of course, we have the bags, the black bags. We have the other one, purple color, where you put your plastics in the house. We distributed the bags to them. We've been talking, we've been working, but you know, all habits die hard. All habits die hard. We're doing a lot of work. If you're very used to this Lagos Expressway, you'll be seeing trucks moving these plastic bottles to a particular factory there. They are collecting it. Just that the value put on that plastic. That empty plastic containers are not much. If you get 1 kilo of it, the money they pay for 1 kilo is not encouraging for you to go and start picking them. The moment you put high values to that, people will start picking them.
Maybe that's an option. Maybe that's an option to get people to consider this trash valuable. Then people would become all engaged. We're fast running out of time. Asuka, did you want to ask him any?
I noticed that you've been clearing drainages, and then these PET bottles are at different strategic places. What effort are you making so that to clear these PET bottles, so that when once it rains again, it doesn't go back
Go right back.
inside the gutters?
Okay. As for we're introducing what looks like a net.
Okay.
A net on the canals that will stop the flow of those. If you go to Alaka, you'll see it. I don't know whether it's there, that net is still there. It's like a V-shaped or a straight one that can take the plastics and you go and pick it. That's what we're doing. We want to put nets in some of these major canals so that we collect it and it will not go right under, because some areas the channels go under.
So those who are staying at the high level areas, should we be afraid? Because even I remember when I moved into a particular side, I don't want to mention where I stay, it was high. But when it rains now, I have to start saying the Lord's Prayer before I leave the house.
You don't need to worry.
Okay, then. We're going to have to leave it there, Joe. I want to thank you very much for coming on. So sorry to interrupt you, but we're going to have to leave it there for now. We just have to touch base with you guys for the great work that you're doing in Lagos State. But it's like people, people hold their breath every time, and you've been explaining some of the reasons why. Okay,
I think it has to do more with us taking responsibility, When once you have PET bottles, you have to keep them, recycle them, keep them somewhere. Because if it continues like this, we might not even have a Lagos. So the best thing is, when once you have your trash it properly, separate them, because that is what we are even encouraging, even in TVC. Separate your PET bottles, separate your papers, and make sure that it's kept somewhere. So the hard refuse, you can always keep them somewhere. When once the Loma people are around, you tell them, this is your PET bottle, this is your plastic, this is your plastic, this is your paper, and then they'll be able to know. They themselves will sort them out and all.
Okay then. Okay, well, we'll leave that subject there. It's a perennial subject. We're going to be talking about it again. Now, I was talking about we also need to be, looking into what's going on in Edo State. We looked at one side of the story yesterday. Well, actually, in terms of what's left, there will be more than one side of the story, because it's not just the PDP. There are other parties as well. But for the moment, looking at the main one, Architect Thaddeus Irabo, PDP youth leader in Edo State, has been able to join us. Good morning, youth leader Irabo.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Yori Folani alongside my colleague here, Asukwo James. Now, okay. So, could you give us a situation report on what everybody wants to know in concerning the shadow election coming up? Has a decision been taken as to how, first of all, who the candidate shall be of PDP, and how we shall arrive there?
Okay, I want to say that PDP is a party that respects internal democracy. There is no way 24 hours to the time of the primaries we will know the candidate that will emerge from the process. But all we are sure of that the process is going to be fair, it's going to be free, it's going to be fair, and it's going to be credible. The whole atmosphere is warm. People are happy. People can't wait to see who is going to be the next flag bearer of the PDP and who is going to defeat the APC come September 19, 2020.
Do you have an idea of who the contestants are likely to be? Who are likely to be the front runners in the shadow election?
Okay, we have the person of Engineer Ugbedi Iyama Omorige. Then we have the Ken Imaswagbon, popularly known as Rice Man. And then the incumbent governor, the person of Godwin Obaseki. These are the candidates. As of yesterday, a front runner also, Gideon Ikine, step aside for the incumbent governor for the 2020 election. So as it stands right now, we only have 3 candidates that will be going to the field tomorrow to test their popularity and their level of acceptability before the PDP delegate in Edo State.
Okay, you're saying it's like you're so confident about tomorrow for all these three aspirants. Well, you know that there are litigation, especially from Port Harcourt, concerning the incumbent governor not, participating and all. Does this worry your party in any way,
I don't think that's an issue at all. As at yesterday, a high court in Ekboma also cleared that the governor already had the permission to participate in that. But as I speak right now, our legal advisor and our team of lawyers are right there in Port Harcourt, where one of the aspirants went to court to challenge the waiver given to the governor. But be that as it may, PDP is a family affair. PDP is a big umbrella that can cover everybody. Let me give you an instant. 2007, there was Ojon Ogbesha in the race, there was Osumbo in the race, and everybody was ready. People thought Ojon Ogbesha was going to take the ticket. On getting to Sabo Ogbemudia Stadium that day, Ojon Ogbesha raised up Osumbo's hand, and that was the end of it. And don't be surprised, you could see something like that tomorrow, because PDP is a leadership party. PDP is a party that believes in fairness and in fair play.
As to the question of direct primaries or
indirect,
you see your way clearly to how it's going to be.
No, PDP, we've always been a party that believes in delegate and indirect primaries. We've never done direct primary because there is a lot of irregularity that comes with direct primaries. The registered voters, like the one the APC did, when last did they update their registered voters? Who gave them the registered voter that they used? Because the state chairman said he's not aware of that process that took place. But that's their own. But I can tell you that PDP is a party that believes in indirect primaries. The delegate election was done 2 weeks ago, where three persons per ward was nominated for this election, while the ward executive will be there, the LGA executive, the state executive, with national delegates from each local government will be represented. Now that the governor is part of the process, the local government chairman, the councillors are all delegates, and because they've applied for waiver and they have been granted.
When you were telling us about the contestants, the front runners in the polls coming up, you had mentioned two individuals before mentioning the Edo State governor third. Was that you being politically, correct and not rocking the boat? And I'm referring to harmony or inharmony within the party as a result of the arrival of the Edo State governor on your shores. For a time there, it seemed like there was a bit of acrimony. Some people saying that, come on, we've been working for the past 4 years, and somebody comes in and within 2 days, you're going to give him a ticket. Some people didn't like it,
Like I rightly said, if you listen when I was calling out the name, I think I did that alphabetically. It wasn't meant because I wanted to call the governor last, but it was how I intended to arrange it and how the things are. Well, be that as it may, you said, what did you say again concerning, as I can say categorically, the governor coming into the party is a big plus to the PDP. Whether he emerges a candidate or not, that's not for me to decide. Nobody is going to coerce any delegate to vote for anybody. That is internal democracy, which we are ready to respect. But having the governor, having the state apparatus going into an election is a different ballgame. Because I can tell you, I was a state youth leader 2016 when the Pastor Isaiah was our candidate. We knew what we went through. Not that the PDP is not popular in Edo. As we speak, we have 2 senators. As at then, we have 5 rep members. So we were even more in government than the APC, just as they had the governor and the federal also was on their side. So it was an uphill task for us, knowing that there was no government for us to rely on. So whether the governor emerged or not, the governor is a PDP member. And I know he's a team player. So if he emerged, good for the party. And if he doesn't emerge, I know he would throw his weight behind any person that emerged from this process.
Okay,
and I know having a sitting governor running for an election in the party is game over for the APC.
Okay, then, Architect Irabor, stay with us, please. We're going to take a break now, but as soon as we come back, we'll be with you again. Okay, welcome back, and we have Architect Irabor, PDP youth leader in Edo State, on the line. We had to go to break, but as I said, we're right back, and as you go.
Now, Architect, I want to ask, this you guys are going on the indirect primary, and don't forget that the governor also has, there's a gazette saying that it shouldn't be more than 20 people at a particular gathering. So how are you guys going to do it so that you don't exceed that number, especially when you now say you're all going into Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium?
Okay, I guess you didn't read that gazette very well.
Okay.
From the gazette that the governor made, the governor said the only place where you can gather, and it shouldn't be more than 5,000, should be Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium.
Okay.
And that will be subjected to the governor's approval. As at last week, the PDP and the state ESCO went into Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium to assess the facility, even before the governor came. And a letter was written from the state chairman to the secretary of government, which is the person of Oge. And that letter was approved, even before the governor came to PDP. So I don't think that's an issue, and Gazette doesn't have any business to do with our indirect primaries, because the law also made provision for that. Because the stadium is very large, and I think you can obey the social distancing order. Your temperature will be checked before you move into the venue, while sanitizer will also be distributed at the gate. With that, and I think NDDC is also in collaboration with the state in conducting these primaries.
Okay, NCDC. Okay, there are a couple of aspirants who have been, your party have been saying that they should step down and not step down, and they have decided that they are going to go for this race. Does this worry your party in any way that after this primary, then there will be issues?
I don't think, like I said, PDP is a party that respects internal democracy. Nobody can coerce anybody to step down for anybody. As long as you've gotten the form, you have been screened, you are eligible to run for the election. And all the aspirants, they have their own dedicated followers that will come out there to vote. If anybody is telling any person that is going to get block votes tomorrow, I think that will be unfair to the person, and that will be untrue. So the truth of the matter is that they will all go there. If you are popular enough, you will emerge the winner. I think that's where it is.
But yesterday,
nobody can, like you rightly said, somebody on his own step aside for the governor, because he said he believed that what he was going to do in government, that the governor is already replicating that. And he cannot stand on the way of the governor. Because of that, he collapsed his structure and handed it over to the governor yesterday.
But were there plans for reconciliation meeting and for people to step down and all that?
As it is right now, you know the party is in court because one of the aspirants went to court. So obviously, because it's a party affair and it's a family affair, there are meetings that are going on at different levels as we speak right now. That's why I'm so optimistic that by the time tomorrow comes, you'll be surprised what will happen.
And in terms of what you mean by that, no doubt, you being a loyal party man, is probably that...
some people might step down.
Well, you know, and that is all going to go well. And ultimately, you no doubt have very high hopes for how the election proper will go. No doubt you're looking to see if you can wrest power as a political party from the APC. Just as APC itself is probably thinking that, you know, we're here to stay. It doesn't matter really who the candidate is. So there's that dynamic between whether indeed it's going to remain an APC state. We're talking about beyond the primaries now when we get to the real thing. Is it going to be a keenly contested affair, do you think, where really nobody can predict the outcome?
Like I would rightly say, nobody can downplay any political party, especially when you have the federal might by your side. But I want to tell the APC, that is not business as usual. We've contested before. We've done a lot of the elections in Edo State. As it is right now, the Edo South, which is the majority of Edo State, the Benin-speaking region, we have 2 House of Rep members there out of the 4. We have the senator representing Edo South as a PDP member. We also have the Edo Central, where APC have never produced a rep member. They've never produced a senator from inception. That is the bedrock of PDP. And with Obaseki coming over to PDP, I think it's game over because of the level of work that he has done in Edo State, ranging from road construction, power sector, the health sector, the schools that were renovated and that are of world class right now. I think the campaign is going to be easy for the PDP.
Oh, okay.
Come September 19, and the election is going to be an easy ride. I can assure you that. And not only that, for example, in my local government, there were key APC people that even when PDP, my local government is the heartbeat of PDP, that even when PDP was winning, at least in the last election for Izayamu, we delivered that local government with over 9,000 votes against the APC. There were some resistance. But right now, I can tell you, those people that we normally look at their eyes, they also came with the governor to the PDP. So I can tell you it's just an easy ride for us.
Okay. Azuko, I think one of your reporters, one of our reporters over there.
Yes, I think Obeteme, George. Obeteme.
The withdrawal of Gideon Ihine from the race for the governorship ticket of the People's Democratic Party was a morale booster to the camp of Governor Godwin Obaseki, who is seeking re-election in the platform of his new party. However, a restraining order from a federal high court in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, threatened to put a nail in the works, but a High Court of Justice in Ekpoma Judicial Division has restrained the People's Democratic Party, the Independent National Electoral Commission, and others from removing Governor Godwin Obaseki, who had already been cleared for the party primary.
It's pure politics, it's to be expected. Everybody is contending for the position. There's a level playing field. So some people will go to court, some people will take certain decisions. But I believe that in the end, people will come together, negotiate, come to agreements, and then the party will move forward.
Give me your votes, make me the chairman of this party, and I will get you to Government House. That was what I told all the delegates I went to in all the 18 local governments of Edo State before the Congress that brought me in. And even without an election, I've already delivered on my side by taking the party back to Government House.
Tony Azegbemi reaffirms the neutral stance of the party for the governorship primary in Edo, but Crusoe Osagi believes Godwin Obaseki is the best man for the job.
Anybody that emerges on the 25th of June as a governorship candidate will clearly walk back into Government House. So it was a misnomer for Edo to have gone the way it went in 2008. So we're back to where we are supposed to be, and we're happy about that.
2 out of the 3 senators in the state, South and Central. We have all the commissioners, all the special advisors. We have all the House of Assembly members, all the local government chairmen and their deputies. We have virtually, the entire structure that we used to have in the APC, now moving to the PDP, which already had an established structure before. It's a victory. In this case, we believe that Governor Godwin Obaseki will be that candidate.
The movement of Governor Godwin Obaseki to the PDP has altered the status quo here at the Osadebe Avenue, and the party is confident of scaling the legal hurdle to be in good stead for a positive run on the 19th of September when the governorship election will be conducted in Edo State. Ovietime George, TVC News, Benin.
Okay, that was Ovietime George. He actually did a report that covered everything that happened in the...
and we used that report earlier.
Yes, earlier. Architect, are you still with us?
He is, yes.
Yes.
Okay, yesterday Governor Wike actually called some members of the NWC in your party tax collectors because they actually scuttled his own plan of trying to reconcile everybody.
Okay, please continue.
You know, so what do you have to say about that? You know, because he said he was going to, he was the one that actually wanted to champion to see how that this matter can be resolved amicably. So now Wike has said he's stepping down because he called the NWC, some NWC members in your party tax collectors.
Anyways, I don't think I want to dwell on that. Like in your mouth, you have your teeth and your tongue. And at the time, you will always have conflict. Okay. And after each conflict, there is room for us to reconcile. As a married man, you also have a wife in the house. At a point in time, you always have some misunderstanding between family members. That have not broken the family. Okay. It's just a misunderstanding, and it's a phase that we will overcome by the end of today. I can assure you that, because PDP is a family business.
Okay, sounding quite optimistic there that all arrangements are in order for a successful conduct of this exercise. That seems to be the sense that one is getting listening to you, that you've crossed the T's, dotted the I's, you're even ready. Depending on whatever the court say, it's like you guys have really thought this out, and you have a real schematic diagram. So there's no worries, seem to be the impression and the vibes I'm getting from you.
Actually, because I'm even a member of the protocol and the accreditation committee. Everything is perfect, everything is in order. We're just waiting for tomorrow, where by the end of tomorrow, by the grace of God, we will present the candidate that will deliver Edor to PDP, that will deliver this, that will make the South remain PDP for the next 4 years, and by the grace of God forever.
Yeah, you may well say that, and I imagine that APC is going to be saying, nah, that's just political talk. We are here. How do you politicians say it? PDP has said it on occasion. There is no vacancy here. So both of you probably, you will be saying that we are coming. The people. The people are going to validate us and say we're coming back home. And the APC will probably be saying, absolutely no vacancy here. But the good thing is that let there be good relations and let law and order not break down.
No, the forthcoming election is going to be an election where the power of the people will be more than the people in power, the power of the people in power. The people are with the PDP. Right from the onset. Just you have your journalists in Benin. Tell them to go through the street of Benin and sample opinion of the people. The people are saying there is no to godfatherism. We don't want godfatherism in Edo State. We want the people to lead. That is when the dividend of democracy actually gets to the people. Not when you have people that have entrenched themselves in government that decides what happens in the state. That is not going to happen in Edo, and Edo people are ready to resist that.
Well, interesting point you made there, and I want to thank you very much, Architect Thaddeus Irabo, PDP youth leader in Edo State. Ending up on that interesting note of the role of godfathers, whether in politics in Nigeria, but it seemed to me that you were saying that in Edo State, it's an alien concept, and the people don't want it, and that's what PDP stands for. No godfathers, let the people decide. Right?
Yeah. Yes. Because that was exactly what brought Oshomola into power. The fight between the late Chief Tony Aneni and Osumbo. Oshomola had failed to learn from history. He also allowed, I think it's just karma and nemesis, and that is what you get when history keeps repeating itself. This is history repeating itself in Edo. This was what happened that threw Oshomole into government, and this have happened again. Power have come back to the PDP through the same process. The fight between a godson and a godfather.
Okay then, thank you very much, Architect Irabo. Okay, so going back to the question where you took it, Asuko, with Irabo. Actually, we'll play a clip now of Governor Wike reacting himself.
Federal High Court is not River State High Court. Even if it's the River State High Court, like people will say, he have no control over them. They are judges. Then I said, because they came to River State and got a Federal High Court River State and got an order. Therefore, I'm aware. But they also forgot that the governor of Edo State, Obaseki, they came to here, Federal High Court here. When they were fighting with the Chimuni about the House of Assembly matter, they got an order. Are you saying that I was the one who was responsible? And with this, I can no longer participate.
Okay, so there you have it. You know, it's a short one. There we have it. So, well, we can almost hear the phones ringing already. We got time now to hear from home as usual. That hasn't happened in 1 or 2 days. Not that we like it like that, but by all means, call in now and let's have your piece as well.
Yes, I like the confidence. You know,
okay, we're just going to have to be interrupting ourselves here.
Yes,
Mr. George has called in from Ikeja. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Uncle Yori, I like two things that handsome youth leader that you just interviewed said. One of them is that Obaseki is a team player. And then the second one is the law that he made that only 18 people or 20 people can gather was not applicable to the stadium. That of the stadium was 5,000. Just imagine, Uncle Yori. A team player that the members of his party in Edo State are not in harmony with him, that resulted to his expulsion or to his leaving the party, and you call that governor a team player. That 24 members of the House, only 9. He took only 9 and expelled the others. And he's a team player? Okay. I wish him well in PDP.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Mr. George. Short and sharp and sweet. Thank you very much for calling in. Please keep it as brief as Mr. George has done, as brief as you can, so we can get a few calls in as the clock relentlessly winds down. Okay, you heard the point that he made, and these are, you see, the people of Edor are going to have to take a lot of things into consideration,
yes.
You know,
So
in arriving at the decision.
It's not something that they will just say, okay, this is a person. They need to sit down to analyze who and who is going to come on.
Okay.
You know,
Mazi Okoroafo. So, how say you? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning. I want to find out from the youth leader you are talking with on that. I want to see. I want the youth leader to see what they can do, because most of the problem we normally have during the election, whether primary or the real election, on before or during or after, is always the youth. The youth leaders should try as much as possible. Let you advise the youth. Let them not be allowed to be used as weapon of mass destruction in any election, whether with the political parties or during the normal election. Because the major 99% problems we have is that the elders, the top politicians will come now and use them. At the end of the day, these youth, the youth leaders and their colleagues, they will be dumped somewhere. When they dump, they have nothing to do to feed back again. At the end of the day, you see all these crimes everywhere, violence everywhere. So you should go back home and advise the youth not to be allowed to be used for anything. Because if the youth are not used, I bet you any election in this country will go freely where there will be no problem.
Thank you very much, Mazi Okoroafo. We're going to leave it there short and sharp and sweet. Thank you very much for that. Hopefully everybody's listening, because what everybody wants is a peaceful conduct of this election.
Exactly.
Because tensions and, you know, emotions tend to heighten during an election. So anything we can do to sort of keep it, you know, low, and so far going by, look at the APC primary, totally devoid of any kind of restiveness. No doubt the PDP one will go as well, contest, from what
by the time campaign starts, it should be issue-based rather than attacking personality.
Well, you know, when the time for campaign comes, all sorts of, it's almost like, well, I'm talking about the real,
yes,
the big one.
We need it to be as issue-based as possible, you know.
Okay. You know. Umar in Lokoja, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Go right ahead, sir.
Yeah. I just want to contribute to the crisis in APC in Edor.
It's PDP.
The party should please have let them have the standard. Maybe you don't want this governor, and you say, okay, you do direct marriage to get him out. You want this person, you do it direct to get me. Kogi State, we all wanted direct primary because you cannot compare with performance with that of Edo, Governor Obaseki. But they did same party impose Edo on us. So they should please have a standard, direct primary or indirect primary. We should have time move ahead in this country, not that people still use us as top fighting for control of a party instead of fighting to better the life of the people.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Umar, for calling in. Appreciate your call.
I could hardly hear what's said. So.
Well, but I think people at home did hear. Okay. So it looks like, from what we're seeing, but Governor Obaseki was a bit angry there. He said he's stepping.
No, Wike.
I beg your pardon. What governor?
Governor Wike.
Yes. So he was a bit angry in his piece there. By the way, wearing a face shield, as opposed to a face mask.
That is what is in vogue now. So.
Well, this is part of vogue business. It's a lot more convenient because it's easier to breathe in a face shield. But
even at that, you have to also wear a face mask.
Yeah, you're supposed to wear a face mask first and then wear a face shield next. But I don't know. The jury is still out. Some people are making quick business with the whole thing, and those things. Those things they're not cheap. We got another caller. Good morning. Thank you very much for calling in, sir. Oh no, unless the caller's name is time out, because that was what they were telling me, and I thought that we had another caller. Well, we got in a few people. We'll see if we can do better, because this is really your program, and we like to hear from you. It's the whole crux of the program. So we're going to thank you for being with us, and those that did get in, and also thank our participants on the program, the youth leader talking about the political aspect of the program, the second half, and before that, Joe Ibokwe. Thank you very much all for coming on the program. So that's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folani alongside Asukwa James saying, please be safe. We'll see you tomorrow.